Mechanical lovers and magnetic fans, gather around. Buying two keyboards for two switch types? Well, not anymore. This keyboard breaks a major rule of one switch type equals one keyboard. Hey, I'm Santa and welcome to the channel where I try to review products with real facts without sugarcoating and marketing hype. Just honest reviews you can actually trust. And today we are reviewing Womier's SK75 TMR keyboard. This keyboard comes with an extensive user manual, regular Type-C cable, keycap switch puller, 3 extra switches, and extra keycaps, USB dongle, and a bonus dust cover. And finally our keyboard. And this keyboard looks quite neat. Now do note that I swapped a WASD with the extra keycaps, but by default it comes in standard black mint tone keycaps. At the back we have really nice mirror plate with purple bluish color tone finish, which also gives a neat look. It's a full aluminum keyboard with a glittery body, but don't worry, these glitters don't come off. It also got a very minimalist branding on the side, which looks quite neat. Now before we turn on the keyboard, let's take a look at the product page. Now this keyboard is a wireless Mac magnetic hybrid hot swappable keyboard. This keyboard also features 8000 Hz polling rate in both wired and wireless mode, coming with 8000 mAh battery, and do note this keyboard weighs around 2 kilograms, probably the heaviest keyboard in my collection. Now Womier is also switching up the keyboards to void switches, and my unit is the one with automotive T switches, but don't worry, you will find the sound comparison between these two switches at the end. They have also listed this keyboard to be coming with 4 sound dampening layers, but we will also see this ourselves during disassembly. Now this keyboard also have a software, but it's bare bones and feels a bit glittery. I can get things done in the software, but it's not very fun or easy to scroll around. Great overall keyboard, but software might be an area which needs some work. Now let's come back to our keyboard and have a look at the RGB. To turn on the keyboard, the power switch is underneath the caps lock. Now a lot of people are going to dislike this, but do not. It's not something you need to do every time. It's just a on-off switch that you need to do it once and then forget about it. Now other operations like switching to Bluetooth, wireless or wired mode, you can toggle between them using key combinations. Now RGB of this keyboard is surprisingly very good, and this is how it looks in the dark. I will use this ripple effect, which kind of giving me a Christmas vibes, which is just around the corner. Now let's dive further into the review, and here's an up close of the keycaps, which are double shot PBT keycaps with mint and black theme, which is subjectively quite neat. And this keyboard also comes with the die sub PBT keycaps, which you can swap as per your taste. Now the best part of this keyboard that it uses TMR technology, which enables you to use both magnetic and your favorite mechanical switches, and you can use them side by side as well. Just swap them in and they can work right away. To open up the keyboard, we take off some of the keycaps and reveal the screws, and we can also see a pretty decent FR4 positioning plate, which is quite sturdy and feels good. Now let's take off these screws one by one. Okay, so one of the screw is blocked by the frame, and now I noticed that the frame comes off separately. So we need to take off the screws with different head first. We carefully lift the top plate, a simple 180, and we have access to internals. We can also see 2 separate 4000 mAh batteries and a pet sheet layer for the separation. Then we have this cutout PCB foam, which is something very common in aluminum keyboards, and then a beautiful PCB. Now there are even more screws to go further inside. Now that's a lot of screws, about 20 I guess. Let's take this off as well to separate our FR4 plate with the top aluminum frame. On a side note, one of the switch was blocking the frame lock, so you need to take that off as well to securely detach the frame. And then we have our sandwiched layer separated from the top frame. We can have a look at the layers in between, and there are one pet sheet layer and one pour-on foam layer. There is no IXPE pad, which you can also spot when taking off the switches, which clearly gives off our clean PCB. And if you are new here, when you take off the switches, you will see a thin layer of sheet present underneath the switches. That is your IXPE pad, which is not present in our case. So overall there are 3 sound dampening layers excluding that pet sheet layer at the base, cause it's quite common in aluminum boards to give a separation between the metal and PCB components. While you are reassembling your keyboard, make sure to connect the cable and check your key turns on before mounting back the frame. Now here's a quick sound test. Now overall I find the sound of these switches quite acceptable and much better than some of the other magnetic switches I have tried. But I do feel like lubing the spacebar just a little bit will go a long way to reduce the rattle. Now there's a big problem here. To take out the stab underneath, you will need to remove these forms, which is normal, I know, but the issue is this form is not a cutout. So it can't be removed, and if you try to remove it, you are messing with the bed sheet underneath and overall form alignment. So the right way to do it for the first time is to take apart the keyboard and the switches and access the sandwich layer, and then you can loop the spacebar and make certain cutouts to the boron form so that the next time you can easily take them out from the front without opening up the entire keyboard. So that's a lot of work. Now I do have some extra void switches to give you a comparison with the Otemu T switches. So here you go. Now when comparing these switches side by side, Otemu sounds a bit silent and hollow while the void switches sound a bit marbly and poppy. I say both are pretty decent switches, but the latest void switches sound a bit nicer in comparison. And as per my final thoughts, regardless of some flaws like difficulty taking out the spacebar, missing form layer as per description, and a clunky software, the keyboard itself is quite good with a solid full aluminum build, cross switch compatibility with magnetic and mechanical switches, which is really great in my opinion, and the switches are pretty decent and the RGB is quite vibrant. And this keyboard also offers 8000 Hz polling rate with 8000 mAh battery. And I have seen other creators as well testing this keyboard with a specific hardware to test out the latency and everything, and apparently this keyboard is at the top of its competition. Additionally, you can find this keyboard around $100 during sale on Amazon, which is a really good price for this keyboard. Now I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know which keyboard you want me to review next, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in my next video.